Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel of English speakers, the channel that is dedicated to help you learn and improve your English. مرحبا بكم في القناة ديالكم English speakers اللي الهدف ديالها انها تعاونكم في تحسين المستوى الإنجليزي ديالكم. I hope that everyone is doing great and having fun while watching this video. كنتمنى تكونوا بخير وعلى خير وكنتمنى انكم تستمتعوا بهذا الفيديو ديال اليوم. So in today's video we will be learning a communication lesson called 10 common English sentences to use every day. إن شاء الله اليوم غادي نشوفوا 10 جمل شائعة في اللغة الإنجليزية للاستعمال اليومي. وهذا الدرس مهم بزاف حيث غادي يعلمك عبارات وجمل تقدر تستعملهم في المحادثات اليومية ديالك. إذا ركزوا معايا إن شاء الله وتبعوا معايا في هذا الدرس باش تعلموا وتحسنوا من المستوى ديالكم في اللغة الإنجليزية. إذا على بركة الله بسم الله نبدأ. Let's get started. So, the first sentence that we have is the following. And listen carefully to this. Would you mind if I called you back in a few minutes or in an hour, etc. بمعنى هل تمانع إذا اتصلت بك مرة أخرى في بضع دقائق أو في ساعة إلى آخره. So when do we use this sentence? إمتى كنستعملوا هذه الجملة أو هذه العبارة؟ For example, you are on the phone with someone. مثلا انت في اتصال مع شي واحد. But you have something to do at that moment. ولكن عندك شي حاجة خاصك ديرها أو لك تدير فيها في هذاك الوقت. You may want to ask the person you are talking to give you a chance to call him back when you finish what you are doing. تقدر أنك تسول هذاك الشخص وطلب منه أنه يعطيك فرصة تكمل هذاك الشيء اللي كدير وتتصل به من بعد ما تسالي. So you may say, would you mind if I called you back in a few minutes? For example, you can say, would you mind if I called you back in 5 minutes? يعني هل تمانع إذا اتصلت بك مرة أخرى في 5 دقائق؟ Notice how you say it politely, in a nice way. This is so common in English, guys, okay? It is very recommended to use this kind of expressions when you talk to someone in English. هاد العبارة ديال would you mind كتستعمل بزاف في اللغة الإنجليزية وهي طريقة زوينة باش أنك تطلب شي واحد شي طلب، أنك تقول ليه هل تمانع في أن تفعل كذا وكذا. Would you mind if you, for example, if you do this for me? Or would you mind if I called you back in a few minutes? واش ما عندكش مشكل؟ واش لا تمانع إذا اتصلت بك مرة أخرى في بضع دقائق. So read it one more time with me, guys, okay? I want you to focus on your pronunciation as well. It is very important to pronounce the words correctly in English, okay? Remember, this is a communication lesson, but at the same time, we want to improve our pronunciation skills. It is very important to speak in English correctly. So I'm going to read it one more time slowly and try to read it with me or after me. Alright, let's start. Would you mind if I called you back? Would you mind if I called you back in a few minutes? In a few minutes. Would you mind if I called you back in a few minutes? Would you mind if I called you back in an hour? Etc. Okay? Alright, let's move on to the second sentence. I'm not quite sure I caught what you said. Would you mind repeating it one more time? لست متأكدا تماما من أنني فهمت ما قلته. هل تمانع في تكراره مرة أخرى؟ So let's say you are in a conversation with someone and he said something that you did not understand or you did not hear. مثلا انت في واحد الحوار أو في واحد المحادثة مع شخص وقال شي حاجة وانت ما سمعتيهاش مزيان أو لا ما فهمتيهاش، تقدر تقول ليه I'm not quite sure I caught what you said. Would you mind repeating it one more time? Notice how in the second part of the sentence we used the expression would you mind. And as I said in the first sentence, this is a very common expression in English to use when you are making a request, and it's polite as well. هاد العبارة ديال would you mind هي عبارة تستعمل كثيرا في اللغة الإنجليزية عند تقديمك لطلب معين لشخص ما. So again, let's read it one more time to pronounce it correctly. I'm not quite sure I caught what you said. I'm not quite sure I caught what you said. Would you mind repeating it one more time? Okay. Let's move on to the to the third sentence. Thank you for asking, but I'm going to have to pass at this time. Thank you for asking, but I'm going to have to pass at this time. أشكرك على سؤالك، لكن علي المرور في هذا الوقت. So, thank you for asking is a very common expression in English. It's a polite way to answer a question. Usually, it's used when someone asks you a question like this. Hi, how are you? Or, how have you been? How is your family? Etc. So we use this expression when someone shows his care about us. We use this question, okay? We use this expression, which is thank you for asking, when someone shows his care about us. So, thank you for asking هي واحد العبارة تستعمل كثيرا في اللغة الإنجليزية، وهي عبارة وطريقة حسنة للإجابة على سؤال معين. مثلا مني كيسولك شي واحد Hi, how are you? Or how have you been? Or how is your family? كيسولك على الأحوال ديالك أو لا الأحوال ديال العائلة ديالك أو لا كيفاش بقيتي أو لا كنتي مثلا مريض وسولك كيف بقيتي إلى آخره، كتقدر تقول ليه thank you for asking، كتقدر أنه سول فيك، كتقول ليه thank you for asking، شكرا على سؤالك. In our sentence, we are actually rejecting the question, we are rejecting the request, but we are doing it in a polite way. So, the rejection exists in the second part of the sentence, where it says, but I'm going to have to pass at this time. But I'm going to have to pass at this time. But we used thank you for asking before it to show our respect to the person asking us the question or the request. في الجملة ديالنا أو لهذه العبارة اللي شفنا ديال thank you for asking but I'm going to have to pass at this time، احنا في الحقيقة رفضنا الريكوست، كان واحد السؤال موجه لنا وقلنا I'm going to have to pass at this time، بمعنى أنني علي المرور في هذا الوقت، بمعنى أنني لن أجيب على هذا السؤال. لكن سبقنا thank you for asking to show respect باش نبينوا الاحترام ديالنا لهذاك الشخص اللي كيسولنا السؤال او اللي كيعطينا هذاك الطلب. so كنرفضوا السؤال او الطلب ولكن او كنرفضوا الاجابه على السؤال لكن في نفس الوقت نظهر الاحترام ديالنا لهذاك الشخص. so let's say it one more time. Thank you for asking, but I'm going to have to pass at this time. Thank you for asking, but I'm going to have to pass at this time. Okay? So make sure, guys, you practice reading so you improve your pronunciation skills. Alright? Okay. Let's move on to the fourth sentence. Can I help you with anything in particular? Can I help you with anything in particular? بمعنى هل يمكنني مساعدتك في أي شيء على وجه الخصوص؟ يعني مثلا أنت باغي تعاون شي واحد تقدر تقول ليه can I help you, right? In general عموما تقدر تقول ليه can I help you. ولكن ملي كتقول can I help you with anything in particular يعني كتقول ليه واش بغيتي نعاونك في شي حاجة معينة. يعني كتسولو فاش بغيتي المساعدة ديالي بطريقة زوينة اللي هي can I help you with anything in particular. Alright? Practice reading, guys. Okay? Please. Next, the fifth sentence. Hey, how did things go with your presentation, with your event, phone call, etc.? مرحبا، كيف صارت الأمور مع عرضك التقديمي أو مع حدث معين أو مع المكالمة الهاتفية إلى آخره. يعني كتسول الصديق ديالك أو الزميل ديالك في الدراسة أو العمل على شي حاجة دوزها بحال امتحان أو شي مقابلة عمل إلى آخره. كتقول ليه Hey, how did things go with your presentation? Hey, how did things go with your event? Hey, how did things go with your final exam? Okay? So we use this expression or this sentence to ask someone about something that he had, like an exam or an interview or something like that. Okay? So let's say it one more time. Hey, how did things go with your presentation? Hey, how did things go with your presentation? Okay? Alright. The sixth sentence. Do you happen to know how to drive? Do you happen to know how to make this? Do you happen to know how to do this? Etc. بمعنى هل تعرف كيف تقوم بالقيادة؟ هل تعرف كيف تفعل هذا أو تقوم بهذا إلى آخره. So you're asking someone, right, if he knows something so he can show it to you because you don't know it. You don't know how to do it. Okay? كتسول شي صديق ديالك مثلا واش كيعرف لشي حاجة باش يوريها لك حيت انت ما عارفهاش. بحال مثلا انت في العمل ديالك وباغي دير واحد الحاجه في الخدمه ديالك اللي انت مطلوب بها ولكن ما كتعرفش ديرها. تقدر تسول الزميل ديالك اللي قديم في العمل تقول ليه hey, do you happen to know how to do this? Okay? Alright, let's say it one more time for your pronunciation skills. Alright? Do you happen to know how to drive? Or do you happen to know how to do this? Okay? Alright. The seventh sentence. It was a pleasure meeting you. It was a pleasure meeting you. I look forward to speaking with you again in the future. I look forward to speaking with you again in the future. بمعنى كان من دواعي سروري لقاؤك أو لقاؤكم إذا كانوا مجموعة من الناس. أتطلع إلى التحدث معك أو معكم مرة أخرى في المستقبل. So let's say, for example, you had a meeting with someone like a manager or your boss at work, and you just finished the meeting with him. You may want to say, "It was a pleasure meeting you. I look forward to speaking with you again in the future." And this is more when it's in an interview or a meeting that is professional, like is more like formal. It's not like just a regular meeting with one of your friends. No, this is a meeting that you had with someone who could be your boss, another manager. Let's say you are meeting with someone else from another company and you are representing your company. So you could use these expressions, okay? It was a pleasure meeting you. It was a pleasure meeting you. يعني كان من دواعي سروري لقاؤك. لي الشرف لقاؤك. Okay? أتطلع إلى التحدث معك مرة أخرى في المستقبل. I look forward to speaking with you again in the future. Alright, so let's read it one more time. It was a pleasure meeting you. It was a pleasure meeting you. I look forward to speaking with you again in the future. Okay? Now the 8th sentence. I'm a little swamped at work. I'm a little swamped at work. بمعنى أنا غارق قليلا في العمل. Okay, this is a very good sentence to show how you are very busy at work. مثلا كنتي في العمل ديالك وعندك بزاف ديال الخدمة كما كنقولوا بالدارجة غارق في الخدمة ما لقيتيش كيفاش تحك راسك غتقول I'm a little swamped at work. I'm a little swamped at work. Okay? Alright, so let's repeat it one more time to pronounce it and try to pronounce it the right way. Okay? I'm a little swamped at work. I'm a little swamped at work. Okay? Okay, let's move on to the 9th sentence. Would you mind lending me or giving me a hand with this? Could be this box, could be anything. Okay? One more time. Would you mind lending me or giving me a hand with this? بمعنى هل تمانع في مساعدتي في أو بهذا الصندوق أو في هذا الصندوق إلى آخره. So this expression, again, notice how we used the expression would you mind, which is a polite way to ask someone for a favor. ملي كتبغي تسول شي واحد يدير معاك شي بليزير أو شي معروف كتستعمل would you mind, please, would you mind. So مثلا انت باغي تهز شي حاجه او باغي دير شي حاجه ومحتاج المساعده ديال واحد اخر بحال مثلا let's say بغيتي تهز واحد الصندوق اللي هو ثقيل وبغيتي تقول لصاحبك اللي حداك hey would you mind lending me or would you mind giving me a hand with this box. okay واش ممكن دير معايا يدك في هذا الصندوق كما كنقولوا في الدارجه ديالنا واش ممكن دير معايا يدك في هاد الخنشة مثلا would you mind giving me a hand with this bag. okay يعني بغيتي المساعدة ديال شي واحد انه يهز معاك شي حاجة او يقاد معاك شي حاجة اللي ما تقدرش ديرها راسك. so let's say it one more time. would you mind lending me or would you mind giving me a hand with this box or anything that you need help with. Okay, now the last sentence, which is the following. Is there anything in particular that you would like to do, eat, see, etc.? Is there anything in particular that you would like to do or eat or see, etc.? هل هناك أي شيء على وجه الخصوص تود فعله أو أكله أو النظر إليه أو مشاهدته إلى آخره. مثلا نعطيكم مثال باش نقرب لكم المعنى ديال هذه الجملة. مثلا كنتي مع شي واحد صاحبك وبغيتي تسولو شنو بغيتي دير. مثلا كنتو خارجين وبغيتي تقول ليه شنو بغيتي دير، واش بغيتي نمشيو لهاد البلاصه اولا نمشيو لهاد البلاصه الى اخره. غتقدر تقول ليه is there anything in particular that you would like to do, right؟ يعني واش عندك شي حاجه على وجه الخصوص اللي بغيتي ديرها. مثلا نمشيو لشي بلاصه على وجه الخصوص اولا نديرو شي حاجه، ولا نمشيو ناكلو، اولا نمشيو نتفرجوا في شي حاجه، اولا الى اخره. اولا كنتي مثلا مريح في الدار وبغيتو تفرجوا في شي فيلم الى اخره، وسولتي مثلا شنو تبغيو تفرجوا، تقول is there anything in particular that you would like to see, that you would like to watch? Okay, so let's repeat it one more time. Is there anything in particular that you would like to see or to do or to eat or to anything? Okay, just put a verb at the end. Okay, and we have arrived to the end of this video, to the end of this lesson. I hope you guys learned something. Thank you so much for watching, and please comment below the video with your remarks and your suggestions for the next videos. And thank you again, and see you in the next video. Assalamu alaikum.